The Nintendo Switch rumors are coming once again thanks to internet super sleuth Laura K. Buzz. Apparently, Nintendo blacklisted her, which is, totally shocking. So she has gone on a tirade on Twitter, leaking nearly everything in her arsenal. First, Koei Tecmo allegedly approached Nintendo to make a Star Fox Warriors Musou game, but this was rejected, and thank goodness for that. Next, according to Laura, Dark Souls 3 will be released on the Switch, and From Software is considering remastering all 3 Dark Souls titles for the new console. And rumors say that Nintendo will put GameCube games on the Virtual Console. Of course, how long that's going to continue is up in the air. And finally, the docking station allegedly does increase performance, although exactly how much is yet to be seen. We do already know, however, that undocked, the system is locked at 720p, so this really isn't very surprising. Did I say finally? Just kidding. We also got leaked images of a brand new Nintendo Switch exclusive indie game called Seasons of Heaven. This game comes to us from a small French indie developer called AnyArts, and looks to be shaping up very well. But for now, let's talk about what we do know about the Nintendo Switch hardware. So, after months of rumors and so-called leaks, we finally have not only proof that Nintendo's new console exists, but also what's inside of it. Now, we don't have the exact details, but we do have enough to make some pretty concrete speculations. As always, nothing is confirmed until Nintendo says so, so please take everything with a huge grain of salt, whatever that means. Nvidia has come out and confirmed that they are indeed providing a custom Tegra processor for Nintendo's new console.
There are solid indications that the Nintendo Switch will definitely have more powerful processing than the Wii U, and most likely compete on the level of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, but most likely not the pseudo 4K consoles PS4 Pro and Xbox Scorpio. Based on the statement published by Nvidia following the reveal of the Switch, we know that the system will be running on a specially developed chip customized for the purpose of the Nintendo Switch, a powerful console that works as well at home as on the go. And indeed, the console is the screen, which is mandatory to be docked in order to output signals on a TV display. This was clearly visible during the demonstration of the system on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, when Reggie played Breath of the Wild with the new Pro controller. As we all know, the Tegra X1 chip is outdated, and the rumored specs of its successor, the Tegra Parker X2 chip, has already been implemented into cars such as the newest Tesla, and is using the new and powerful Pascal architecture. This makes sense as the most recent leaks from Laura Kate Dale have suggested that the console undocked will output resolutions up to 720p and 60 frames per second, while the docking station will allow the system to overclock when docked and can at least output 1080p resolutions thanks to an additional fan. Laura states that the Switch will, when docked, run at a higher clock speed to facilitate 1080p resolutions on the TV. An additional small fan has been placed to cool down the system when it runs at a higher clock speed. The question remains though on whether the Nintendo Switch will include this chip or an entirely separate custom crafted chip as stated by Nvidia. We are betting on the latter one, and that makes things a little bit unclear. So let's take a second look at the official statement from Nvidia. Nvidia describes its custom Tegra processor for the Switch as a console architecture for the living room and beyond. Just to make it clear, this is a high-efficiency, scalable processor that includes an Nvidia GPU based on the same architecture as the high-scale GeForce gaming graphics cards. It is supported by fully custom software, revamped physics engine, new libraries, advanced game tools and libraries. In addition, it includes a new gaming API to increase its performance. The gameplay is enhanced by something called hardware-accelerated video playback and more custom software for audio effects and rendering. To make it clear, Nvidia reassures us that the Nintendo Switch has Nvidia gaming technology integrated into all of its aspects. As you might see, there isn't too much to trace here apart from the fact that the Switch is a home console first and a hybrid handheld second that will definitely not run on a Tegra X1 chip, which is good news since the rumored specs for the Tegra X2 appear to be more powerful than the ones found in Xbox One and, under the right circumstances, the PlayStation 4. But we need at the same time to remind you that the X2 Parker chip is primarily built for cars. In other words, we find it more likely that Nvidia, in cooperation with Nintendo, has been cooking up something quite unique and handcrafted for home console needs. You don't have to look further than the recent comments from third-party developers such as Bethesda, Ubisoft, EA, Take-Two Interactive, or From Software. In particular, From Software stated recently that they have tested running Dark Souls 3, a current-gen title, on the Switch, and apparently these tests confirmed that the game is running at a level of performance that they are happy with, which is good news for potential ports of the Dark Souls trilogy coming to the Switch. Then we have Bethesda's Todd Howard. In a recent Q&A session with Glixel, he was asked what he thinks about the Switch and Bethesda's commitment to support it. Quote, "I love it. I got to play it. I will tell you, well, maybe that's an NDA thing, one of the best demos I have ever seen. Probably the best demo I've seen at E3. I think it is really smart what they are doing. We're definitely going to support it. Skyrim is the same game on the TV and on the other screen. This statement is a solid indication that the system is likely more than powerful enough to run the special edition of The Elder Scrolls Skyrim. In addition, we have heard praises from Ubisoft's, EA's, and Take-Two's CEOs about how they all have plans for the Switch. And as we already know, 2 of these are developing Switch exclusive titles dedicated for the system, though one of them at least feels a little unsettling. So to be honest, we might assume that the Switch will be a more powerful system when docked, but to not get completely overboard, we should not expect any PS4 Pro or Xbox Scorpio levels from it, which is fine, as the standard PS4 and Xbox One will still be supported in the next few years until the next generation arrives. But a more concerning question is attached to the ARM architecture that the Switch most likely will possess, that is somewhat different from the PC-based x86 and 64 builds. Once again, we believe it is important to stay calm and listen to what the third-party developers are saying. And the fact remains that by all stated sources and comments that the Switch seems to be a system that is much easier to develop for and port to than the Wii U. And on that note, and the fact that it is a hybrid and the cartridges will offer other advantages such as more space, shorter reading times, and with it shorter loading times, we are certain that Nintendo knows what they're doing. But for now, here is my take on the Switch during the Jimmy Fallon show last Wednesday. Please enjoy.
This is the Nintendo Switch.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now how about the console itself? We see the display and power cables along with the Nintendo logo. Even though this is the first time we're seeing the Switch in a less controlled environment, they're still making an effort to hide things from us. But thanks to our friend Luis Alamia, he helped us find some interesting tidbits. This video has provided us with the best look at the bottom of the controller we've had so far, which still isn't a lot. But let's get to the bottom of this. We finally see what appears to be the charging port, the rumored USB-C. Hell, at this point it isn't even a rumor, as EB Games Australia listed a USB-A to C cable as a Switch accessory along with some other things. That means faster charging, also meaning Nintendo could possibly get away with having a shorter battery life. But do you notice anything different when the Switch is on the kickstand? The Switch logo is on the backside now, as opposed to the reveal trailer when it had nothing. Luis also put together a little size comparison, placing the iPhone 7 Plus that was used to play Super Mario Run in the shot where the Switch is. The iPhone 7 Plus is 6.23 inches horizontally with a 5.5 inch screen, making the screen size on the Switch either 6.5 or 7 inches. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll have more episodes for you in the coming days. This has been the Commonwealth Realm, and we'll see you guys and gals next time.
Game changer, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Reggie, I love this. Nintendo's every kid, every human, every person will be playing with this come March.